Welcome to another edition of Free and Equal TV. I'm your host, Kristan T. Harris, filling in for Christina Tobin. And we have a very special guest here with us today. We have DJ EVA. Welcome to the broadcast, DJ EVA. How you doing?
Hello. It's so fun to be here.
So tell our listeners a little bit about you. Well, let's start with this. Like, how did you even get involved in DJing? Like, is it something that you saw on TV once and you're like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to spin records.
Well, I love hip hop and I grew up to underground hip hop. But I was working in a TV show called Chelsea Lately for 7 years. And we did, 4 different tours and we would travel all the time. And I needed to kind of get a life. It was like I was just, I was like having a minute with myself where I loved my job so much, but it was like I need to kind of like get a hobby or some friends or something. So then I found out about Scratch Academy, which was founded by Jam Master Jay of Run DMC, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard of. And I walked through the door, and they're the best DJs in the world that literally sit down and teach you. And I got to have 4 years of, like, I'm talking the worst DJ. I would be, like, dripping sweat, and, it took me a long time to learn how to really beat match. But I really respect the culture, and I appreciated that they took the time to kind of, teach me. So it was fun to finally get really good. And then from there, I really put it out. I'm an extreme person, so I'm very positive. I really put it out once I finally got good. And I'm like, I want my first ever show to be a 5,000 seat amphitheater. I go, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I was so bad for so long and I can finally really do this. I just put it out there. And the craziest part about when you dream big and think big is my first ever show was Red Rocks, and I got to open for Damian Marley and Diplo of Major Lazer, my first ever show. So, and it was really fun because I went back behind the Red Rocks stage, and I was watching Diplo. Like, I mean, he's one of the top DJs in the world. I'm watching him scratch, and I was like, I know what he's doing. I knew, and I just had felt like I really earned that moment. So yeah, I love DJing.
So, like, who are some of your major influences when it comes to DJing?
Diplo, 100%. What a good question. I think that my favorite part is really it's always something new and different, And I feel like there's so many DJs that are out there that are really their own style and their own thing. And so I couldn't even pick if I wanted to. I feel like I do admire Diplo. He's just got a really fun, traveling the globe with his wildest dreams. But I have a different level of respect for every single DJ, and I really do love the culture.
Yeah, I can remember my first time in a dance club, and the first time I heard, what they now call EDM. Back in the day, we just called it techno, right? And when there's like 40,000 genres of techno, from dance to house to, trip hop and all these. Now they got like synth pop and all these other different genres of music that branch off of techno. But EDM has taken the nation by storm. They have huge festivals that are just dedicated to electronic music. How have you seen the industry change over the last 10 years?
Well, I'll tell you, it's K-pop and all that, and for me, I got a call from a bull riding group. My good friend had set it up, and he's like, I need you to come out to this bull riding thing and, DJ. And I go, I do not know country. I'm sorry. And he goes, no, there's no country. And so it was like, I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then my second question was, is this mean for the bulls? And he's like, when I die, I want to come back as a spirit animal, as a bull. He goes, they live the best lives, they get the best food, and I could really see it. And so it was fun to kind of be asked to do something completely different that I would have never, known. And above all, I mean, it is so crazy. These guys, it's like one of the most dangerous sports in the world. So for my brain, the music, they wanted, really heavy, just extreme hard metal and all that. And it really was fun too, because you would have to have that, 6 seconds at the gate, it's open, they're bucking, So really I guess to answer your question, it was just really about, I would have never expected to get a call from that. And I would have never expected to have them ask me play totally different, that high energy sort of vibe.
Yeah, it sounds like something completely different. When you talk about bull riding, and I don't know, like it sounds intense. I know people that actually go out and watch it, and it's really popular, a lot more popular than I could even imagine. So
It's
when you have the opportunity to actually DJ at something like that, that's a pretty big deal, especially when it's not country music. You got a little lucky there.
Well, and it's a culture, and I really had no idea. They're kind of teaching me. They're like, you got to get cowgirl boots, and there's this style, but it's very family oriented. And on top of that, I mean, my brain was just always pushed to the limit because you're watching these guys buck after buck, and they're sitting on the gate about to risk their lives. Sometimes they're throwing up, because they're about to do the most dangerous sport in the world, and you're waiting, and they do the nod and the gate opens and you got to drop something else and you have anywhere from 1 to 8 seconds to get out of that mix and play something else. So it was really healthy, like, to just test my DJing, and really fun too, because it's intense and you never really know like what was going to happen. Sometimes they would fall right off, and I always had to be on my toes for that. So
well, and it kind of foreshadowed what you became. It's kind of crazy. So let us know a little bit. How did you end up becoming the DJ for the Denver Broncos and their cheerleaders?
I came back to Colorado, and I did the thing where I take a magic wand and I go, I want to pick the biggest thing I could possibly do here, and I put it out and I go, I want it to be the Broncos. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I never do. Like, you just got to believe it. And it was the craziest thing, because my friend called me and I said, I'm looking to like get in with the Broncos. And he goes, better yet. And he introduced me to the head coach, Donna Peters, who is one of the most amazing women I've ever met. She is sharp and she is savvy. And she literally, they put me on a very special performance for Von Miller because he was up for a big award. And he's got an amazing foundation that gives glasses to inner city kids. And so I got to write this really fun, back to back to back, and then just run out on the field, and we performed it. And they're so positive, and I love working with them. And it's always a different level of, because you probably have like maybe 30 seconds to get on the field and get off. But it's also really fun, and I feel like every time I get to do something with them, it's really special.
Yeah, that sounds like a riot, and you'll be performing on 4th of July weekend at the United We Stand Cambria event. What an exciting event. There's so many great minds that are going to be there. G. Edward Griffin. We have new musicians as well. Mike Love, Pia, of course, you will be there spinning away, and we'll be dancing into the night. Tell us a little bit about this track that we're about to play by you, that you mixed.
Well, first of all, for Free and Equal, I have never met a more amazing group of people. It is so incredible just what's the vibe and how fun and just how happy and how much of a difference they're making. So it's just like, oh my God, I kind of have to pinch myself with that whole entire foundation and everyone and how amazing they are. So thank you. And then this is, I guess, one of my favorite tracks. Well, I just made this mix, but this is kind of my new mix that I just put out, and I really do like it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty amazing track, and I'm excited to play it here for our listeners. It reels in at 10 minutes long, and we're going to play it straight to you guys, straight from the straight to the audience, so you guys can hear the best sound quality. So here we have it. This is a mix performed by DJ EVA. So I want you guys to hang in there, and we'll go ahead and we are going to get this playing for you guys. That was DJ EVA. So let our listeners know and viewers know where they can hear or see more of your work, and if they want to follow you, where can they follow you?
I'm at EVA Magazine on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's DJ EVA. But yeah, EVA Magazine is my handle everywhere, and I would love that because that sounds really fun. And I'm actually putting out my first ever track that I've made, so I'm so excited to kind of share that. And got a really huge event coming up too, so it'll be fun to kind of get new followers and connect and build them in so they can be involved on that because it'll do a lot of good.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting you in Cambria, and thank you so much for coming out on Free and Equal TV, and we'll definitely catch up there, and we'll have to stream it live. It'll be so much fun. We'll talk to you soon.
Wait.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Cambria. Yeah, you guys have
All
a great
right.
night.